BBC One.
Now, time for The One Show with Alex Jones and tonight's guest presenter.
Interesting.
Hello and welcome to The One Show with Alex Jones.
And my Friday partner this week is the snooker star DJ himself, is Steve Davis. Now, we all know that you're excellent at playing snooker.
Yeah.
But what about queuing up questions, Steve?
I have no idea. I've never asked a question before. I thought it was all about me, but it's not.
Good start. Good start. It could be a long night. Our guest tonight is a man who's done it all. Sold millions of albums, won numerous awards, received an OBE, and he's now co-written a West End musical about the Calendar Girls.
But why, in his own calendars, does he never ever smile?
I know.
Miserable. I mean, like, here's the proof. Take that, 1994. Look at the state of that.
Oh, a bit lim is there. Take that, 95. Oh. Same expression.
Have a look at 96. Not a murmur there, nothing.
Moody, and even 20 years later, having made lots of money. Not a smile in sight, look. So let's cheer him up, shall we? We'll do our best. It's Gary Barlow.
That's not a miserable look, more of a determined look.
Yeah, I don't mean you taking away my boring title, so yeah.
Not at all. And it should be the legend snooker player, not the star snooker player.
Well, yes. And did you know that he was a DJ now, Steve?
I did. Are you really?
Banging techno DJ,
Glastonbury.
apparently. Yeah.
Amazing.
Glastonbury.
Well done.
Have you ever done Glastonbury?
I've never done Glastonbury. No.
What?
I'm going to put that on my list now. Now I know you've done it.
Now, Gary's here, along with his co-writer Tim Firth, who's over there, to tell us all about the Calendar Girls musical. It's called The Girls. And here's a photo we did find of Gary smiling while him and Tim stripped to the waist there.
Comparing notes.
Well, you know what? Our beautiful cast, we had them in the last photo shoot about a year ago, completely naked, and they were really up for it. Great sports. And we thought, you know what, it's only fair. As the writers, we should definitely get our kit off.
So everything off or just the top?
Just the kilt. Just left the kilt
Right.
on. That was it.
Well,
And we had air on a G-string playing at the same time.
Very good.
OK, well, more about the musical later. And we've also got some more music, an exclusive live performance from France's hottest music star, Christine and the Queens.
Yes, now she had a huge hit with Tilted, and she'll be singing a brand new single for us a bit later. We hear you're a fan, Gary.
Amazing, definitely.
Oh, she's great, and I saw her on
Fantastic.
Graham Norton. She was brilliant. Very, very good. Now, it's been 10 years since laws came in banning using your phone handheld whilst driving. And it was actually the very first story that Dom Littlewood covered for the show.
So in a week when the RAC, the press and the government have all slammed motorists for ignoring the law in record numbers, we sent Dom back on the road to see if anyone's been shamed into changing their ways.
We all know it's wrong, yet we still seem to be doing it. How many times have you looked down and spotted somebody sending a sneaky text while they're stuck in traffic, or making a sneaky phone call while they're driving down the motorway, probably because they're bored and want to know how West Ham did last night or what's for dinner? Maybe this week it's different. Maybe we've all taken notice. So I'm going to take matters into my own hands. What we need is a bit of psychology, a bit of bluff, a different approach. Meet the One Show's mobile phone scanner. Don't panic, it's not real. But perhaps this little beauty can help me suss out who's been using their mobile phone on the road. Oh, Gary! Oh, it's gone red! Oh, bright red, Justin. Where were you half an hour ago?
Parked up. Promise, definitely.
I reckon you were probably in your car at that point.
Oh, was it?
Driving. Have you made any calls on here today while you've been driving?
Yeah, one.
Harry?
Yeah,
In your car?
yeah.
Oh, this is bad. Were you still driving?
That's right, that time I was driving. No, I was stopped to get some drinks.
8 calls since Chris,
Yeah.
all while driving on the phone.
Yeah.
Why did you not just press divert and ring her back later on?
Temptation.
I'll just do it. It's just like a habit.
Is the message getting through? Well, if it is, the evidence will be on the roads. That's why I've teamed up with our very own one-show bike rider to investigate. My rider has seen just how often drivers flout the law in all sorts of ways. Hitting the roads with him is the perfect way to get up close and personal with offenders. And on an average day, how many people do you see using the phone?
Countless, absolutely numerous.
Must drive you bonkers, doesn't it?
It's the biggest single threat to a motorcyclist's health and well-being, no doubt. No doubt, yeah.
OK, well, let's crack on then. Get off the phone! Hi. Oi. You're playing with your phone there? Yes, you are. I just saw it in your hand. Why are you on your phone? You're driving. You're in London. It's a busy street. You shouldn't be on your phone. What are you doing on the phone? That was outrageous. A black cab on the phone one hand, cigarette in the other. Well, there you had it. Time for a bit more diligence on the road. I mean, we're joking aside here, but it's a serious matter, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, people are getting killed, they're getting hurt, they're getting injured. You really have got to sort it out.
Well, it's not a laughing matter, is it?
It's not at all, Steve.
Gary, I mean, do you ever allow your chauffeur to make fun of just...
Definitely not.
No.
You know, I think driving's a good excuse to put your phone in the boot.
Me too.
It's about escaping from your phone, isn't it?
Be in your own world for a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the girls then. Very exciting because the tickets went on sale today and I'm sure they've fallen off the shelf, so to speak. We've had the original Calendar Girls on, you know, at the beginning they did it to raise money for leukemia, didn't they? And then you wrote the film, Tim, and the original play. Now you've gone on to a musical. So where did the idea come from for that then, to upscale it a bit?
Well, I suppose two things really. One, you returned to it because you feel there's some unfinished business. There was another story that was to be told about the husbands, the children. It was we call it a sort of an under Milk Wood kind of comedy under Milk Wood. There was a story about an English village green musical which we thought could work for a bigger audience. And secondly, we'd always said, hadn't we? I mean, you've got to remember, I knew Gary
when he was a dut.
Before Take That, so we met way in advance. So we both were in the same town, and so it just seemed it seemed logical really that we've always talked about this, and the two things came together. I took him to see the play.
Yeah, we went up to Milton Keynes to see the play, and, I kind of suspected Tim may want to put music to this, and I loved the play. I thought it was amazing, but instantly I could hear the music straight away, and I just thought for those emotional moments, the music would really add to this. And we've had great fun, haven't we? It's been working about 5 years on this now, so it's been a long job. We've had it playing out of London already. We've had it playing in Leeds and in Manchester.
To rave reviews.
We're coming to the West End in January, so we're very excited.
Raised a few quid for charity at Leeds and Manchester.
Oh, it does, it does. I mean, the show itself raises money anyway, but also the cast of it was their own decision really that they decided one night that we were going to go and stand in the front of the theatre with buckets. And after every show, they ended up doing this every night. Every night we'd race round, and in Leeds and the Lowry alone, those bucket collections raised over £70,000.
Oh, fantastic.
Pounds just in coins of coppers of people coming out.
And as you said, Gary, the play is brilliant, but the music has really added to it. So here's a little taste for everybody at home of one of the songs. It's called Dare.
You dare, just for once, don't stop and stare. Spread your wings and trust me, yeah. If you think the ice locks thin, run faster if you
And the lovely thing about it, you know, you've said that you've already put it on in a couple of venues, but you premiered it in the Yorkshire little village where the Calendar Girls started. And the locals and their feedback, I suppose, really helped shape the show for you, didn't it?
It did, because if you want an honest reaction, get 4 shows full of Yorkshire villagers, people from the town, 2 from the village, and you're going to get exactly what they think. Oh, we gave them little pieces of paper, didn't we? The little pencils, and said, right, tell us exactly what you think. Tell us which songs you like, which songs you don't like, and boy, they did. Boy, they did.
I bet they did. But it's great, though, because then, you know, you're getting it straight from the horse's mouth before it comes to to the West End.
Yeah, I think definitely with musicals, you know, to get that story and to get the balance right, you've got to put it on its feet and put it in front of an audience. You learn so much, don't you?
Well, we sort of had this philosophy that for a musical to really work, it's got to work in a church hall with the piano, and that's what we did. We did it in a church hall with a piano.
Not the first time you've worked together. The first time Timmy was 15.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What was going on there?
He was. Well, it was a songwriting competition, you know, and he'd entered it. I'd entered it sometime before, and you often see these clips of the young Gary Barlow singing. If you turn the camera around, you would have seen me with a mullet at the age of 20 as a judge on that competition.
Well, he was actually on the earlier version of this show, which was called Nationwide, some of you may remember. And here's lovely Gary at 15. Yes, here we go.
Come on. Oh, no. That jumper was very trendy at the time, I'll have you know.
I remember that they were actually at that point.
Honest.
Well, The Girls is at the Phoenix Theatre in London, as we said, and it opens next January. Tickets available from today.
Fantastic, thank you.
Right then. Now then, the Calendar Girls haven't just inspired Gary and Tim. There are literally hundreds of groups who've gone on to produce their own naked calendars since then. And we've got three of the bravest here with us this evening. Nolene, I'm just going to squidge in here. Now then, you're the treasurer for a specific group. Where are you three from then?
We're from Upton-upon-Severn and I am the treasurer of the Hot Peppers WI.
Right, OK. So where did the idea come from? Who did you want to raise the money for?
We decided to raise the money for the local doctor's surgery. So it went to the community. So it's the friends of the local doctor's surgery. So everybody benefited.
Well, you did raise £1,750, which is a very good effort. And I particularly liked Mr. May. Paul, you look
Thank you very
divine.
much. Thank you.
Now, you're a postmaster, are you?
Just retired.
OK. And was this your first naked shoot?
It was. It was the first time. It was very liberating.
Very liberating. You enjoyed it, did you?
I really enjoyed it. Recommend it to anybody.
It's fantastic. Like yours as well, Peter. Very good. And now, Rick.
Alex.
Yes.
Hi.
Now, you were telling me earlier, because your photo is very interesting. You're from Hampshire, aren't you?
Indeed.
Raised £4,000
Just
for
under.
the poppy appeal on the local church, thanks to your daughter. It was her idea. Now, tell us about the picture. What are you holding? Hold it aloft. Proud, Rick.
So as a little part-time hobby at the weekends, I deliver wild bird food to people.
Yes.
And so I'm selling this young lady, who is my wife, a bag of peanuts, which is covering my modesty. A very large bag of peanuts.
Would you like to buy a bag of nuts? Yes, very nice.
Really, that's the offer.
Hey, we like it. Rick, you raised 4,000. Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, I'll just squidge in between Miranda and Wynne here. Now, then, where are you from, Miranda?
Ryle in Rutland.
And raising money for?
Macmillan.
Macmillan. Yeah. You raised an incredible, well, it's just under 3,000 to be fair.
Yeah.
We particularly liked Wynne, your photo. Now, was this your first nude modelling? I'm guessing it might have been.
At 75, yes.
And can you at all remember what the article was you were reading so avidly, then take a break?
Take a break. It was indeed, yes.
Was it liberating? Did you enjoy it?
I loved it, yes.
Oh, well, you've raised lots of money. Thank you so much. Thanks as well, Deborah, for coming along. Brilliant. Just give them a round of applause. Now, of course, you've got to be brave to strip off for a calendar, but it takes a different kind of bravery to swim the channel, particularly when you're just 11 years old. Here's Miranda.
Like all tough physical challenges, there are many different records for swimming the English Channel. Back in 1988, schoolboy Tom Gregory caused quite a stir when he became the youngest person ever to swim the Channel solo. He was just 11 years old, but in the year 2000, the regulations changed. You had to be 16 to attempt the crossing solo. So, this record will never be broken. Tom took just under an incredible 12 hours to swim across from France. Now 39, he works in the City of London. So Tom, being back here, especially seeing the White Cliffs, what sort of memories does that bring back?
Well, it's a beautiful day. When I landed, 28 years ago, it was a day very, very similar to this.
Right.
So, yeah, it's quite emotional in some respects. Yeah.
This was the end of a gruelling 4-year training regime, led by the late John Bullitt, who was the coach and inspiration behind Tom's swim.
He changed the lives, really, of many children from our part of South East London, and it was his vision really to push youth to go and achieve all they can in this endurance sport.
Tom's parents were also a great support for him, and his sister Anna, who was a member of the same swimming club.
Was there ever anybody who said that he shouldn't be doing this?
We had our reservations. It's very much a question of trust and confidence, and we realised just what a thorough and competent coach John was. Something of a genius, I have to say.
Yeah. Cold water swimming was an essential part of training, and Tom would make frequent visits to Lake Windermere in the Lake District.
Because Windermere is colder than the Channel, and the water, being fresh water, is much clearer and less buoyant. So the saying is, if you can do a length of Windermere, you can do the Channel.
Really? Length and a half?
Yeah.
And he did it with some ease. That's when we knew he was going to be ready.
So, in the early hours of the morning on the 6th of September 1988, Tom found himself on a beach in France about to take on this huge challenge.
John greased me up and snapped one of those light sticks onto my trunks because it was really dark. Don't swim off, we don't want to lose you. And 5:15, stepped into the water and away we went. So the first half was complete in under 5 hours. And I remember John telling me that from the boat, saying we're on for a sub-10 swim, which would have been, wow, yeah.
Amazing.
And so I think the last third really was almost hard to talk about because it was genuinely unpleasant. There was a lot of pain across the body. And I can remember sort of falling asleep while swimming and generally being sort of shouted at to stay alert.
Tom was clearly struggling in the last few miles, so another coach, Claire Kent, who was on the boat, jumped in and swam with him. He's not seen her for 20 years.
Just turn around.
Oh, my word.
That's it, isn't it?
To see you.
Oh, I can't come down.
Well, it brings it all back, you know.
How did you feel, the moment you saw him getting out of the water and walking to shore?
It was just amazing, just incredibly proud to see someone live their dream and achieve what they want to achieve.
After he came ashore, he had to get back on the boat to take him round to Folkestone, where, would you believe it, he had to go through customs.
He had to show his passport.
Then all the camera crews were there by that stage,
Yeah.
and they got a very quick interview with him as
Yeah.
he came up the ramp.
Tiring.
Really?
Very tiring.
But then the next few days were just this succession of TV appearances, and I was the one at home pressing record and play on the video recorder.
Now, if you're under 16 and want to swim the Channel, regulations state that you have to be part of a relay team. And today, the Eltham Open Water Swimming Club, which Tom used to belong to, are in training.
All right,
Here we go.
no pain.
It's not cold.
And we've decided to join them. So what advice does Tom have for anyone willing to take on the challenge?
Really, it's about that resilience to the cold and building that ability to cope with the distance.
And after 30 minutes, it's time for Tom to once again step back onto the English shoreline, just as he did all those years ago.
I can clearly remember turning around, sitting, facing back out to France. But as to a sort of feeling of yippee, it probably wasn't that. I was too exhausted, to be honest with you.
Yeah, amazing.
Absolutely incredible story. You couldn't imagine an 11-year-old doing that now, because of health and safety and all the rest of it.
No. Perhaps,
Brilliant.
somewhere around the world there might be.
Probably.
But not the Channel.
No, not the Channel. Right.
Wouldn't be called the Channel.
It wouldn't.
No.
Now, Steve's come in today and he had this idea. He wanted to ask you as many questions as possible per
Really?
minute.
Yes.
than we've ever done
Per
before.
minute?
Per minute.
Okay. Yes, this is where I come in as well, OK? Because Alex is going to answer the questions.
Quick
but
fire, you know?
they've got to be interesting, because I am apparently one of the most interesting people in the country. So to entertain me, if it is entertaining, I'm going to give you this. OK. With a little sound. I know you like a bit of sound.
Oh, I'm
okay?
disturbed now, because I
But
am
if-
boring.
Trust me, I
Really?
know this.
Well, have I got competition?
If it is, that's what you're going to get.
OK, oh,
Okay,
wow.
So,
All right.
are you ready?
Oh,
Should
I
we
don't
give
know
it a
if I
go,
am.
Carrie? Right. How did the first Take That gig go?
Oh, very badly, very badly. A lot of us slipped over. We didn't really know the words. It was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. I wondered if there was any future in this band, if I'm honest.
Steve, what do you reckon?
What's talking about? I thought you were going to spill the beans on what was going backstage.
What was going down?
Just
right.
a lot of worry at that point.
Well, we'll try another one, look. Most inappropriate time a fan has asked you for an autograph or a selfie.
In the toilet. Yeah, quite recently, actually, quite recently. People want selfies anywhere nowadays. I'm in the toilet, this guy goes, come on, mate, just have a picture with you. You're like, OK. I might not be able to put my other arm round you.
That was a good one, wasn't it? We liked it. All right. Strangest thing you've been sent by a fan?
By a fan? I've had some strange ones. In the 90s, I got sent by this... she must have been 18, a fan of a... She must have been a policewoman. It was a picture of her in combat. That was it.
What?
It was hers, not for me to sign or anything. It was
Just
a picture of her in combat, like with a truncheon hitting somebody. It's the weirdest thing. Pretty interesting.
I like that one. One quick one.
Odd.
Who's your favourite snooker player of all time?
Got to be Ray Reardon.
Very, very good.
Got to be Steve. Got to be him.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, an interesting scale, where was Gary?
Got off to a poor start, but went through the gears. I think 10 out of 10 there. That's fantastic.
Great.
Actually, Gary, you've been involved in writing pop songs and musicals now, and obviously you know that I've told you before I'm a banging techno DJ these days. So neither of us know this genre, but I just wanted to say happy birthday to all the punks out there.
Yes, this year British punk music is celebrating a big anniversary, and Carrie went to market with a band that started it all.
40 years ago, a landmark gig took place at this famous venue, the 100 Club in Oxford Street.
The lineup included newly formed band The Damned, and just a few months later, they went on to release the very first ever UK punk single, New Rose.
It was never us saying, we want to do that before anyone else does. It was more a case of we were ready.
Even if it all stopped there, I would have been like, yeah, did it.
The Damned were at the forefront of the new movement kick-started by the Sex Pistols here in London.
40 years on, its birth is being celebrated by a special exhibition here at the British Library.
What punk did was question the status quo and look at the way things were done. Look at the way record companies operated, look at the way gigs were put on, look at the way music was supposed to be. And then they thought, well, you don't have to do it this way. It might be a lot more fun by doing it another way. To reflect the fact that punk was central to the culture of the late 70s, it's very important that we collect the records, print material, everything that goes with it, so that people in the future can actually compare the mainstream culture with the counterculture.
The Damned emerged from a close-knit scene of like-minded people when founder member Brian James advertised for a drummer.
This guy come down with ginger hair. He said, my name's Chris Miller. And he sat on the drum chair and he attacked the drums kit. He really attacked it, and it was great.
Chris, rechristened Rat Scabies, introduced Brian to former gravedigger Dave Vanian after meeting him at a Sex Pistols gig.
I'd be one of these kids who sang at records in his bedroom. And I basically lied. You know, I said... I
knew it.
Yeah. See, after all this time, he never knew. I basically lied that I was a singer to get the job.
They were joined by bassist Ray Burns.
And he was very quiet, in actual fact, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the second gig we did, he invented himself as Captain Sensible.
We just clicked. We went on there 100% energy and attitude and confidence.
Yeah. And you'd be us against the world, you know.
A lot of that scene was really political. Were you guys anarchists?
No. Personally speaking, never, no. The only anarchy that I was interested in was on stage, the music, where there's no bars. I love avant-garde jazz, and I wanted to play rock and roll like that, you know. I wanted freedom.
Their single, New Rose, perfectly captured the moment.
It's about the emerging punk scene, and finally, the music I wanted to play, I met people to do it with, you know, and it was just an exciting time. So an exciting song come out because of it.
Music's inspired by its situation. You know, it was a tough time to live, but to be honest, it was a really optimistic time. Creativity was everywhere. Everybody had something to do or say suddenly, and it looked like we'd have a way of doing it.
I never thought this could happen to me.
Now, the Damned managed to get the first release out in 1976. How did they do that?
Mainly because they were on an independent label, Stiff Records, having an independent label gives you the ability to be a lot more flexible. And Stiff probably didn't have the kind of high production values that EMI would have had. They wouldn't have had the production schedule that EMI would have had. And so they were able to put the Damned in a studio for a day or so and then think, it's a bit rough around the edges, but bang, let's put it out. And so they did.
The Damned also went on to release the first punk album and became the first British punk band to tour the USA. Dave Vanian and Captain Sensible are still touring as The Damned today. While Brian has his own band, here giving us a special performance of New Rose back in the 100 Club after all these years.
What does it mean to you today when you look back and you think our record was the first ever punk record in the UK?
It's just one of those things. Someone had to be first, you know. If it comes first, second, third, fourth, what the hell, you know what I mean? It's still the best.
Wish I'd written it, but there you go.
Thank you so much to Carrie. Speaking of music, we've got to have a quick Take That update.
A roundup.
20 seconds.
Recording new music, tour next year.
Amazing.
Greatest 25 years next year for us, so it's big greatest hits at the end of next year. Lots happening.
So new album and new tour.
Yes,
That
definitely.
would be good news
Yeah,
for many
yeah.
people. Thanks as well to Tim
Been lovely.
for coming in.
Pleasure.
The Girls is on at London's Phoenix Theatre in January. Thank you, Steve, as well.
Yes,
Good
well
job.
Thank you. And now performing the new single, St. Claude, from her album Charleur.